Guess I wasn't
R.I.P.
streaming. I am now.
There you go. I see it.
What the frig? I just downloaded all this shit to get the cam working.
Ooh,
It's
Let me do this to my audio. Is this what I want? This might be it. This isn't quite it.
Oh my lord.
Hell yeah.
Before I kick this off, and I'm gonna do the the recap. Did you guys decide to short rest here?
I think we were waiting.
Yeah, not yet. We just
No, not yet?
fought and yeah.
Okay, we just wrapped up combat and that's about it.
Yeah.
Did one of you guys go over to that where the bigger harpy came from to check that out?
Yes.
the
And
nest.
it was just like, yeah,
thing. Yeah. I said I flipped it.
Yeah.
it just was like a wicker
Yeah.
ring around like a hole in the side of a hill, basically.
Yeah.
Is what we right. Okay.
Yeah, you said I found a magical staff that did a bunch of damage.
Yeah, I'll send you the details for that.
Perfect, thank you.
Hold on a sec. I gotta try and figure out if I can do this voice or not. Hold on. Yeah, I should be all right. Okay. You guys all got Audacity going?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I do.
Sweet. Yeah, if you guys have it all going, we can get this ripping and rolling. And this is session 6, yeah?
I think
You
so.
decide? Pretty sure? I think it is.
Because the last recording I have is session 4, and I missed 5.
Yeah. Okay. I think we're good. Y'all ready?
Give me 1 sec. I have too many dice in my hands. Okay. Ready.
Hands up, folks. Clapping in 3, 2, 1. Clap. All right, everybody. Welcome to this bi-week's episode of Till the Dice First Part. We are on session 6. We have a full group. We have JLo back this week.
Yeah.
He was enjoying a much-deserved vacation last session. So welcome back, home boy.
It is great to be here.
To recap, last session, the party started off a encounter with a basilisk, and I had JLo roll a dice from Hawaii, which was a nat 20, which was his initiative, was Keshana's initiative roll. So she rushed right in. I think you might have crit. I remember her attack was really good at the beginning there.
It's possible. You just had me roll the initiative, I think.
Yeah. Needless to say, went in, did some damage, and was petrified by a basilisk. So hang tight, homie. Let's see how this goes.
Yeah. Good luck.
Other than that, the party dispatched of the basilisk. You checked out the little island that it was occupying, found its den, which was in it had 2 large basilisk eggs inside, which were very heavy, which Everly and Alagos are currently holding on to. There were also some other statues in there that you don't know much about. And then you guys tried to regroup and figure out what was going on, and Coven had a reasonable meltdown over the presumed loss of his sister, and through much arguing and trying to figure out what was going on, the sorcerer of the group decided to levitate the distraught Coven and tied him like a balloon and dragged him through part of the bog.
You spit on me.
Yeah, basically hog tied him and levitate him and just pulled him around like a balloon. And then I had you guys choose which direction you wanted to progress through the bog. You dodged some danger, but encountered some other danger in the form of a group of harpies. of which they tried to sing you guys in, to swoon you into their nesting area, and through a fairly successful rounds of combat, you dealt with them. So we're picking up with Cash back on the Basilisk Island as a statue. Sorry, Coven. Was that a sniffle?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the rest. So, yeah, in the heat of that whole battle, Coven kind of like came to and was like, okay, I need to help these guys out if I want to do something for my sister. And yeah, you guys dealt with all that stuff and hadn't decided to rest or anything like that. We kind of just like killed the last harpy and then ended. So, yeah, how do you guys feel about that? What do you guys want to do now?
Rest.
Yeah, we should rest.
Yeah,
for a
we
while.
should definitely rest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you trying to just shack up right here on this little section
I say
of Earth, or
we hide underneath the wicker, sleep.
Not
you wanna-
underneath, but we can use it as.
You don't want to cuddle with me?
You have your wife to do that.
You did go check out the hole there in the side of the hill where the like bigger harpy had come from, and there's nothing really in there. It's just some bundles of like where they might have been sleeping or where they spent some time hanging out. So if you want to use that as like a pseudo shelter for the rest, you totally can.
Okay. Yep.
And are y'all thinking short rest?
Yes.
Or okay.
You guys don't want a long rest?
Not in here. No.
Okay. Coven,
I don't know how far we are, but
What?
how you doing? You want to go sleep?
No.
you want to go nappy nap?
They're a bunch of buttheads.
I'm sure we are. Let's just
Yeah,
rest.
yeah, we are. We are. Okay, yeah, let's go. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, so you guys work your way over there. You determine that there's no danger left. And you gather around inside and get your first rest since entering the bog. Anything going on during the rest? And or you guys want to?
I stare at them.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Sure. You guys can use the rest to like talk about what you want to try and do moving forward, or talk to Coven because you guys haven't really talked to Coven since floating him like a balloon after combat. But up to you guys.
Yeah. Coven, thank you for helping out. We could have definitely died without your help.
Mm-hmm.
You want some jerky?
Not from you.
Okay. All right.
I do like jerky, though.
I know. Here you go.
I slap it.
So I'd pick it up and dust it off and hand it back to you. Okay, so what does a short rest get us really quickly? Sorcery points are only long rest.
There's a button you can click where
Yep.
it auto fills for you. Yeah, I don't know what it gives, like per class it kind of does different things.
Got it.
But you can roll you roll hit dice to get health back. I'm trying to remember how that goes for a short rest. Is it like half his hit dice? Or do you regen half your hit dice on a long rest? Is that what I'm thinking?
Yeah, you regen half, and you can use as many hit dice as you want on a short one.
So if any of you guys are missing health, you can use hit dice to get health back now if you want, or heal. You can do healing and whatever.
You have hit dice equal to your level,
Yeah,
and hit dice is different per class.
yeah. So I think some of you might have like a D8 or a D10, or I don't know if anyone has. I'm sure people have D6. I just can't think of who it is. I think those are the three typical.
It's weird that
Does
they don't
anyone
have
a
your
12?
It's weird that they don't have your hit dice on your character sheet.
It's probably somewhere. If you
Click
if you
short
go-
rest.
I did. Yep.
Okay.
I see it. Okay, 1d6 plus
Sorcerer.
3. Yep.
All right, there you go.
Got it. I'm only missing 4 health, so I'll roll one.
A barbarian does have a D12.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so yeah, you go back up to full health then.
Okay.
Sweet. So yeah, what do you guys want to do after this rest? Like, what is your plan of action here? I know you had talked when you guys were trying to delegate with Coven that you were gonna try and progress forward towards where you presumed Sen was living, because that's kind of what that was your initial plan with Everly's situation anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's important to try to keep moving as much as possible, so Coven knows that we're trying our best.
Okay. Yeah. So, point me where you guys want to start heading, and we'll get you guys moving.
Okay. I think we go north. Crew?
Yeah, we go north from here. Yep.
Yes.
We're gonna hit this long bridge.
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, I won't make you guys do like a marching order right now, because I think if you guys are gonna head to the end of that bridge, I'll put you guys on a different map. So yeah, let me set up that other map real quick.
I'm kicking rocks and sulking.
Damn. Okay. Let's get you there. Okay. Did it cross over?
Yeah, but it's all black.
It's all black, right? Okay. Then let me open up some stuff for you.
Yes, I've crossed over.
You're just having an out of body experience.
I'll see
I
you
mean,
on the
tell
other
me
side.
about it.
Oops.
Ooh.
Hold on a second. This is being a pain. There we go. Real area.
I think I've broken my roll 20. Give me one sec.
Oh shit.
Do you guys see?
Oh shit.
Ah.
Mm-hmm. Much higher quality. Very,
Yeah.
very well done.
Yeah.
They'll vary. They'll vary.
Oh,
Yeah,
damn,
there's-
look at that tree!
Which one?
There's a tree on the top left I like.
This guy? Or the dead one?
Oh dang.
I
yeah.
can't. I don't want to draw extra shit like always, so give me one moment.
Liar.
But I want to. I want to.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so let's talk about this. Hold on, I have to pull up something that I had set aside here. Yeah, okay. So you guys crossed that bridge, and from the point where you fought the harpies, I explained that bridge before the harpies was like repaired. It seemed like it was in much better shape than the ones that led up to where the basilisk was. So there was no checks involved in crossing that. This bridge is also that way. The whole bridge, it's much longer. It's very level. It looks like it's been maintained. So that's a good thing. When you guys walk through this marsh, and when you left the Harpy Island, you kind of crossed over the bridge area, and I don't know how many feet it went, but it was a pretty long stretch of just bridge where it was like floating like a dock would, out across mostly water. There was a couple, small like island bits to the left and the right with ferns and things like that on them. But as you progress, and this place is like pretty densely fogged for the most part, and you come up to where you see some more land, and the fog is a little less dense, and you see in front of you guys this like dock bridge situation goes up a little bit in front of you guys, about I don't know, maybe like 80 feet or so. And you see a house. It's more like it's like a cottage. It's not like regal or anything. It looks like handmade. And it's kind of like a cross shape from what you can tell, and you can see the full dimension of it because you're below it. It's about 12 feet up, above the swamp on like these big stilts, all over the whole building, kind of supporting it from different sections. It doesn't look like there's any stairs. It doesn't look like there's a ladder. It doesn't look like there's any rope. It's literally just this bridge and this dock that leads up to these stilts that are just in the swamp, and they're about 12 feet tall and they're pretty thick. And on top of them is like a dimly lit from the interior, like cross-shaped cottage. That's what you guys see.
All right,
Okay.
let's just move.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you guys are approaching this area.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll move you guys because I can do it all as a group. So who out of the four of you, actually, let me look. Cash doesn't count because reasons. Can Seraph and Everly, and it's funny, I have you guys in the front, so it works. Can Seraph and Everly give me perception checks, please?
That's right, I can use this. I have a 4.
Ooh, whoa.
Oh,
God.
girl.
Hi.
Okay. Right, so what'd you guys roll? What'd you guys get?
I got a 23.
I got a 15.
Okay. So as you guys approach, Seraph picks up, you hear some discussion. You hear like what sounds like voices, a conversation, of which you, Seraph, cannot make out a lot of. You kind of hear like a little bit of like a crackling from a fire inside and some creaking. Like it seems like there's some walking inside this and you're underneath it. So you get some noises kind of construing, but you hear various voices coming through, and you do pick up on like little, like words here and there. It seems to be in common, but you're catching a few. You're catching multiple voices, like several, and then when you put your hand up, and you point up and acknowledge that there's some noise going on, and Everly perks up and listens in, and she hears, at least from what you can tell, it sounds like maybe 3 people, and one person is repeating themselves a lot. Will say something and then like say it again, which is odd. Let's see. Yeah, so here, let me see if I can do this properly. If I talk like this, can you guys hear me at all? Is it hard to hear what I'm saying?
No, we can hear you
Got
pretty
it.
clear.
God, you're beautiful.
Okay. So Everly kind of puts her ear out, and she hears a voice that like breaks out in just like in its own like dialogue, like it's explaining something to a couple other people, and it says,
"We didn't expect there to be so many of them.
Okay, Nico.
We followed them into a clearing, and it seemed like they had set up camp there. But after the fact, after we dispatched of their forces, we uncovered some interesting red glowing plant life that is different from anything that we've seen before. But here's a little bit you can take a look at it.
and then you hear another voice that goes,
Well, thank you so much. I'll take a quick look at this. You all can sit around. Go ahead and sit around the fire. I'll give me a second to investigate this. Thank you.
And then you hear a voice go,
Ah! Plant life! Red, boiling plant life!
and yeah, you hear all that. Everly hears all that. And do you guys keep approaching? Do you try and get yourselves heard, or?
So Everly turns around, kind of puts her hand up and says, I hear someone. There seems to be potentially 3 people, maybe 2, and a crazy thing.
Maybe 2, and one of them's fucking crazy.
And
Who knows?
You hear a couple times. You hear a couple times while you're saying that, and you all hear it at this point. You hear,
Oh. Sounds like it might be a parrot.
you hear that a few times.
Okay. I have a question really quick. Can I use my spells even if I don't have spell slots for them if we're outside of combat, like invisibility or something like that?
You would have to use spell slots. Yeah.
For those outside of combat? Okay.
Yep.
I think it's there's a way for wizards to do it if they can casting as a ritual. But that's
Right.
different from sorcerer casting.
Okay.
Yeah. And then
I got nothing, boys.
you hear like they're kind of still talking, like in the background, and they all kind of stop, and then you hear a different voice that goes, you hear it go, I think there's something outside, and it all kind of stops, and then you see a head slowly peek up through one of the windows, and it is it looks like an old man from where you're standing. Looks like an old man with like a straw hat on, and he has a long white beard.
I wave at him.
He ducks back down. Ducks back down, and then you see shadows moving around inside, and you hear stuff like rustling about, and then a door opens from the side of the house, and it's just a door, and there's nothing else there. It's not like it'd be like if you didn't know, someone would open the door and just fall out because there's no stairs or anything. But obviously the guy knows where he is. Opens the door, and you see his full body. He's a scrawny, hunched, older human man, and he looks down at you guys and he goes, "What are you all doing here? Can I help you?"
Are you Sen? Ornick sent us.
Ornick, where are you from?
All over, sir. All over.
Where were you most recently? What brings you to the swamp?
Oh shit! What's the name of the town? Fuck, I don't remember.
How bad?
Parnast. Okay.
It's not Parnast.
Oh, yeah. Hallback. Okay.
It's okay. You can just talk to me. The rest of these dummies don't know nothing. I write everything down. I'm currently writing every word you say.
Oh, very interesting. Well, Ornick, if I'm not mistaken, is the drunken shepherd that lives outside the town.
Yeah,
With
he's
the-
got
with
cute
the-
doggies.
The dogs, yes, very cute. Well,
Barbara Michael
What?
Charlie.
what could he possibly have sent you to me for? I'm
Well,
just old Sen here in my swamp. I don't have. What do you need?
we were coming here to talk about this lady's right foot, but we now have more pressing matters, and it's that my sister is now a statue.
Statue.
I-
Do you know how this may have happened?
Dare I say, it might be a little bit of a basilisk petrification going on.
Oh, you met the Bolin basilisk.
Oh,
Killed it.
Oh.
I
We
did.
dealt with it.
Well, I dealt the killing blow.
he like kind of slouches a little bit. It's dead.
Yes.
You killed the basilisk of the swamp.
Yeah.
Yes.
That would be correct, yes.
I killed it with knowledge.
Yeah, goodness. I'd like to say I don't believe you, but hold on, let me get my things. And he heads back inside, and you hear like.
I give the party a thumbs up.
I glare at you.
Glare back.
You see him come back up, and he's holding a bunch of like rope, and he just drops his arms, and this like.
I get behind
this-
Seraph.
Yeah, this heavy twined rope ladder drops down, and he actually pretty nimbly crawls down from it, and yeah, so he drops this ladder down, and he crawls down to the bridge and comes down to you guys, and he turns back around, and he puts his, I can't do it because I've never been able to, but he puts his fingers in his mouth like that and does the whistle.
The whistle. Mm-hmm.
And you just see the rope ladder super quickly just get pulled back up into the cottage, and the door slams. And he says, "Well, lead the way, I suppose. This swamp is extremely Are you sure? What else did you encounter? Anything else on your way up to my cottage?"
Bird
Yes.
ladies.
Yes, harpies. And I pull out the basilisk egg and show it to him as proof that we killed.
Oh my good. Do you mind if I hold on to this, please? I don't know if I trust. You must have killed it. I mean, this is the. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we definitely killed it, but we'll hold on to this for now.
Okay. Follow me, and he heads down the swamp, and he's got like a big, he's got like a wooden stick, with I don't know what they're called, but it's like old timey, like hitchhikers have the like sack tied to the top of the stick, kind of thing.
Yep.
It's just like whatever the belongings he decided to bring with him.
He's a
are
kid
just
running
in-
away from home.
Yeah, it's just a big like burlap sack kind of tied to the top of a stick, and he's just got that slung over his back, and it looks like it's got a ton of shit in it. And yeah, you guys work your way back.
Sir, how do you traverse the bog so easily from Holbeck to your home? Time and time
Well-
again.
I've lived here for a long time. The basilisk is dangerous, but if you know how to get to my home, you don't really need to deal with the basilisk. It minds its own business. I mean, it's pretty out of the way. The harpies, on the other hand, you can just most of the time throw something shiny past them, and they'll just scurry off. I mean, I've never really had to deal with them. A couple encounters here and there, but they don't make it this far past the bridge. It's usually not a problem. But yeah, to answer your question, yeah. When you said Sen, he like asked who sent you and everything like that. So
Okay.
It could not be him, but he seemed to like respond to it. Yeah. So yeah, you guys walk your way back. I'm not gonna make you like traverse through the swamp and see if there's any other danger. I assume you'd take the same path or whatever he believed would be the safest path. He seems to know his way around the swamp pretty well. So I think we could pan back over to here.
Krebs says bag on a stick is called a bindle.
A bindle.
Yeah, it's a bindle.
It's good to know.
Thank you, Krebs, for the bindle.
Chat coming in hot.
Here. My like token library is so small. That's the best I could come up with, is just like a dude with white hair.
Is he in a judge outfit, dude?
Holy shit, I don't fucking know what he's wearing, dude. He's got white hair and he's the man. That's him.
Nice.
Hold on, let me actually get a look at him. Judge outfit. Sure, dude. He does. He looks like he's. I don't know
That's
about
Judge
Judge.
Judy right there.
Guilty.
Oh Lord. Yeah, so he kind of walks up and looks at the bridge and, well, you guys really did a number here on the bridge, eh?
Yeah.
And he kind of just like nimbly passes past the broken parts and says, well, I see one statue and one dead basilisk. The story tracks. Good for you guys. Well, let's see what old Sen can do. It's been a while since I've had to deal with anything like this. And he walks over and he looks at the basilisk and he like opens its mouth and flops it around a little bit, checks all its fingers, and he like looks at the blown open section of its head and kind of like shakes his head a little bit. And he looks over at you guys and he says, me and this one didn't have the best relationship. We never had too many run-ins, but she's kept me safe here for a long time. A lot of adventurers try and make their way through here, and some of them stop here. They don't make it all the way through, but you guys seem to handle it pretty well. Aside from her, and walks up and puts his hand on the Dragonborn's arm, the Kashana, and he goes, safe to assume there, Dragonborn, this is the sister you speak of?
Yes, and thanks for getting the gender right. That's been a trouble lately.
Well, you did introduce her as sister. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And,
her.
Was that Cash inside the fucking yeah, so he takes a deep breath and he shrugs and he says, back in my day, I may have been able to deal with this through arcane means, but due to the strict enforcement of the Empire, I've done away with those practices and I've gone to a more holistic approach. I have yet to have a successful unpetrification yet, but
Oh, God.
Okay.
Oh no, it's okay,
Okay.
Guffin. It's
Oh,
I
boy.
do know what it takes, and any help. Are any of you proficient in medicinal practices? I could use a hand. It's not easy.
Well,
Sir, we are no strangers to arcane magic. We wouldn't tell a soul. We just want our friend back.
The Wanderer teaches me many things.
Well, it's kind of a different story for me in terms of the arcane practices. It's a long story. Maybe we'll get there someday, but let's give this a shot. It won't hurt. If anything, it just we'll just sprinkle some things on her, and nothing will happen. And it's not like she disappears if it fails. It's worth a try.
Do you promise that maybe the sprinkle might kill her and turn her into rocks?
No,
You sure?
not very unlikely. If that
Oh,
helps.
could you hold? Let me just ritual cast a little augury real quick.
Take your time. I know.
I'm gonna need to chat. I'm gonna need to chat with the Wanderer.
Hey, take your time. Yeah, he kind of sets his bindle down. Thank you, Krebs. Sets his bindle down and he takes out like a mortar and pestle and just a couple like little like fucking cloth things he's got tied up with rope, and there's some weird colored rocks in them, and he's kind of mashing up what looks like like matcha powder, and it's like this really fine green powder. But yeah, you go ahead and you can cast that while he's doing that.
I open up my book and I write, "Hey pal, me again. It's the moment. I'm a little nervous here. Cash's statue. Got a weird bog guy. He's a swamp voodoo man, just like I suspected. He looks like a judge from the Interior Empire. And
Not fucking canon. He doesn't look like a judge.
scares me. He says he's gonna sprinkle some things on my sister. And there's some concern here, pal. Love you lots. Hit me back. Wheel or woe. Your friend, Cavanthian Dayspring.
You start to see some scrawlings underneath where you write, and it looks like a really rushed Pictionary drawing of like a wagon, and then it just sits there on the wagon on the page, and then you see underneath it a little arrow points up to one of the wheels and goes like blink, 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 and then just wipes away.
Kevin looks up from the page and closes the page and licks his lips and goes, "Sprinkle away."
Okay, sir. Are any of you in the medicinal practice of any degree?
Yeah.
You?
Well, magical medicine.
Okay. Are you proficient in medicine?
Yeah.
Okay. Then that'll work.
That's what he was asking.
Well,
that was it.
Everly has like a half a circle. I don't know what,
Yeah.
like half a. Okay.
That's just your jack of all trades. It's like half proficiency.
Okay.
Dare I say, I can be proficient in whatever you need because I have a big brain and the Wanderer talks to me.
God damn it.
I got two people that I'm very close with. One, Dappy the Wanderer. Two,
And me.
And two, be the statue, Kashona, my sister. I love her, and I would like her to move again and speak again and give me a hug.
He like he looks up at you and he's like got his which one's the mortar and which one's the which one's the bowl?
The mortar.
Mortar, sure. He picks that up and he takes like a hollowed out turtle shell from in his little bindle and kind of sprinkles this like mash that he's made into that, and looks up at Coven while he's wrapping that up and just like blinks a couple times at him.
That's a good mash
he's like-
build.
He's like, well, head on over here, big fella.
Okay.
And he holds the turtle shell in one hand, and he looks over to Alagos and he says, Mr. Genasi, did you say that you acquired an egg from this beast?
Yes, we found one egg, and I pull it out and I hand it to him.
Okay, one will do. If it fails, we could check the den for more eggs. I could presumably do this multiple attempts, one per egg, in my research, but we'll see how this goes.
Let's make this one count, Sen.
Do you have your like mace out, Coven? Like, or is it like on your like? Do you have it like on your side there?
It's on my hip.
Yeah. He points at that and raises the egg up, and he says, "Just a small tap on the top."
Oh boy. Okay.
Make a dexterity check.
All the talk about medicine proficiency, and you make him make a dex check.
17.
Okay. Yeah, you come right down on the top, and it splits a little down the side, and he kind of like he's like struggling to hold it because, like I said, this thing's like 50 pounds. So he's kind of got his like arm resting on his like shin because he's kneeling, and he kind of just peels some of the egg, like the shell off the top, and it just looks like someone cracked a piece of like shit, like slate or something. It's just like rock kind of pulling apart, and there's this like gooey mess inside. And he just takes out like a wooden stick and shoves it inside and kind of swirls around, and you get that rattling noise, like when someone makes when someone makes chocolate milk and just like swirls that spoon forever, and it sounds fucking terrible, and it's just bing, 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 bing. You get one of those.
It's triggering me.
And then he's doing that and asks, he says, "Okay there, Mr. Dragonborn, could you slowly pour in an even layer around the top the contents of the turtle shell, please?" And
Yes.
you take the turtle shell. Make that medicine check, please.
15.
Okay. Yeah, so while he's stirring, you're just like doing a little light sifting, dropping it in on
Glazing?
the top. Yeah.
You're basting that turkey.
Yeah. And it falls in, and it's like this. Before you did that, it was this like milky, like a fucking, a normal egg. It was like milky with a little yellow kind of from the yolk once he broke it and started turning it and spinning it around, churning it around. And when you add this powder, it turns to this light bluish colored liquid inside this egg. And he says, "Now, this should do the trick. Your sister is a big girl. Do you mind just raising this up above her head, please?"
Yeah, sure. It's hard for me to even reach. She's a biggin'.
Yeah.
And I love every inch of her.
So I need you to place it directly over the top of her head,
Okay.
with the open end up. Don't let any spill. Okay.
Oopsie. Okay, got it.
No. And then I need you to raise it about 6 inches. And I need you to forcefully bring it down on the top of her head. It's important that you break through,
Okay.
that the statue is able to pierce the bottom of the egg.
I'm getting sweaty.
Yeah, go ahead and make a strength check.
Can I assist him?
Is that a hiss?
Apparently not.
At the assist attempt?
Just laughing at him.
You don't want help to heal
No.
your sister? Okay.
A lot of help you did. You turned me into a freaking balloon. We walked like 200 feet. He was living right around the corner. You could have walked without me, you dink. What do I gotta do, Sid?
Strength.
It's a fucking 19. Let's go.
Oh, baby! I put my hands up and I just slowly walk backwards.
After hissing a little bit at Alagos, yeah, you sniffle, and just with the hopes that this might do something, a little tear streams down your face, and you fucking smash that egg over Cash's head, and you guys all hear that, like, the crunch. It's literally just like smashing two big rocks together.
I shatter her into a million pieces.
No.
Yeah, with a 19, thanks.
Too strong.
Yeah, the egg splits straight down the middle from where the top had already cracked, and it falls one piece to the front and one piece to the back, and it just drips this bright aqua colored goo over her.
Ooh.
And it slowly just runs down over her face and down under her shoulders and just is like dripping off her. And you he's like, well, if we did this right, maybe it's Maybelline. Yeah, Cash's nickname after this is CoverGirl. Yeah, and he's like, if we did this properly, it should work. And he puts his hand on Coven's shoulder and he says, son, you did a great job either way. I'm proud of you. And yeah, you guys all watch as this liquid kind of just drips down and it covers the top half of her body, and you hear some more cracking. You hear like cracking, like almost like the same sound that the egg had made, and the liquid falls off the top of her head and starts coming down like this, and you see vibrant blue skin, wet but blue, and it comes down and you see eyes, and they blink, and then it starts to float down and it rushes down the rest of your body and onto the ground.
Cash!
Yeah.
Somebody give me a napkin!
I run over and I grab the blanket and I hand it to Coven. That's on the
Yeah,
ground.
Cash instantly...
Give it to me!
Instantly kind of collapse. You're not unconscious, but it is a process coming out of this petrification. It's not... You're extremely exhausted.
I'm tenderly patting the sheen off of her face.
Yeah, it's not one of those things you come out and just like shake it off right away. You have endured a very strenuous
I'd like to catch
effect.
her. I'd like to catch her
Yeah.
as she falls.
She falls, you lean forward. I won't make you roll for that, dude. Come on, man. Yeah. And Sen like looks at you all and smiles and then turns, and you guys don't see this, but he does it. He like looks off behind you guys and goes,
The big old phew. That Dragonmore would have ate me.
and yeah, he starts bundling up the contents of his bindle, and then gets it back together while the reunion happens.
As Cash falls, I think it's like as soon as she is able to catch her breath, she's like, "There's a basilisk." It's still here. It's like pulls out her, picks up her sword and tries to, and like can't quite hold it yet. It's like,
Yeah.
It's all
it's not moving.
Oh, Kashana! Kashana,
It's not moving.
I'm so happy to hear that voice.
Woo.
It's okay. I killed it. It looked at you, and I killed it with my bare hands.
Woo.
Oh God.
That's you alone.
Um.
We'll talk about. We'll talk about it in a moment. I'm just glad you're breathing. You're looking strong. You're looking thick as always, girl.
It's always girl. Oh, jeez.
Oh, I'm so happy.
Yeah, Sen finishes the bindle, and throws it back on his shoulder, and he takes a step forward, and he outstretches his arm to Cash, and he says, welcome back, my dear. Your brother was a great help, and I'm glad you're with us again."
This is Sen. I think he's a judge.
That's the whisper I get from Coven.
I walk over to Sen and I say, "We appreciate your help, Sen. Have you ever seen anything like this before?" And I lift up Everly's pant leg and show him the rot foot.
Oh,
And-
damn!
And as I do that, I reach in my pocket and I pull out 3 gold coins and hand them to him. And this is for helping our Dragonborn friend.
That's very generous. Thank you.
He closes the palm of your hand and puts it back to you. No need. I have no need for such currency. Wow, that how did you acquire an injury like that?
She's bit by a demon dogger.
Excuse me?
Yeah, I believe it was a demon-style dog of some kind, 3-headed demon dog.
I know Ornyx rough around the edges, but those are sweet dogs. I don't believe that they would have done. Is this unrelated?
Not those dogs, sir. No,
Oh.
not those dogs.
Okay.
Ornyx
Well?
dogs are related into that story, yes, but
You may have to tell me this tale. I may have the means to deal with this back at my house. You all look like shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Too kind. You are too kind, my friend.
I got dragged through the mud.
As Cash, like I'm probably just like getting some of that goop out of my eyes.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Here, use this blankie.
Well,
Thank you, brother.
you all seem nice enough. I'd like to take you back to my house. I'd love to look at your leg. We can see.
Easy.
There are ladies
I knew he was
present,
gonna
Sam. Calm
say
yourself.
He looks at you and back at her, and he goes, "A thing? Maybe a thing? A unit? Is this a unit?
Yes, we are in fact married. Yes.
Interesting. Okay. And you, sir?" And he looks at Seraph. Just along for the ride.
I guess so. With a
Don't
very,
even
like,
look at my beautiful sister.
And I say, yeah.
He looks at Seraph and like looks up and down. Seraph, make a perception check.
all right. That's not very good. I rolled
Yeah,
an-
you
an
see
8.
him kind of look you over, and he makes eye contact with you, and he says, "A human of the Empire amongst the company of such exotic folk. What brings you into this fold?"
I do not judge others based on race. I am a peculiar human, you could say.
I believe you. Oh, okay. Well, let's we have much to discuss. I'd like to hear about this demon dog, and hopefully I can deal with your injury. If you guys wouldn't mind, we can head back to my house.
Okay.
Okay.
Y'all go ahead. I'm just gonna chat with my sister, make sure she got her bog legs up under her first.
Do you want me to levitate her,
I want you to
Coven? No.
I
get,
think
get
that-
the hell out of my face is what I want from you.
I
appreciate the offer, my Alagos friend, but I think I am getting my bog legs back, as the saying goes. Is that a saying?
Yeah,
your
I
time.
think we just made one.
Okay. Well, I walk up to Cash and stretch my hand out and say, "Welcome back. Good to have you back, Cash."
It
Sure.
is good to be here. Thank you. I'll put my hand out and I'll shake his hand.
All right.
Slather
Thank you
on
for
that
not calling me a demon.
macho.
I've learned my lesson.
Good.
Yeah, so Sen knew his way around the bog, but it definitely took him a while. So he starts the trek back, and whoever wants to follow him can follow him back. And
Yeah, I'll stay close to him.
so they cross the bridge, and you see them on that island across the bridge there, and Coven and Cash are next to the basilisk.
I sit
Are you? Yeah, go ahead.
I sit down on the basilisk husk. Cash, I think you and we need to talk about some things real quick.
Yes.
All right, I don't want to lay it too heavy. I know you just been a statue and all, but they freaking tried to kill you. They attacked me. They dragged me through the mud. They wrestled me. They turned me into balloon.
Brother dear, my brother, slow down. Start from the beginning.
They made me cry too. Okay, so basically,
So-
how the story goes, you were so brave. You went ahead and you got turned into a statue while trying to tell us all about the petrification of a basilisk, and I was so proud of you. And then
Thank you.
I was very upset. I can't see you get harmed like that, and I know usually you protect me, but I can't just watch this happen to you. And I attacked it with all my might. I dropped my book, I dropped my mace, and I tore that thing apart. Look at that. It's missing bits. I attacked it so hard. And then I say, there's eggs down in the den. That means it's making nookie or whoopee with someone. And I can't just be letting that lover come on back around and eat my sister. And so I put a blanket over you because I'm thinking, maybe a blanket hide you a little bit. And then I'm holding you so tight. I'm hugging you. I'm crying. I'm tearing up. I'm not going to lie. And I'm going to keep you safe, right? And then Ella goes that stink face and Seraph, they come on around and they're like, okay, get to going, leave her. She ain't nothing but nothing. We gotta fix a rot foot. And I'm like, all right, go ahead. I'm gonna protect my sister now, so bye-bye. And they say, get going or we beat that ass. And I'm like, nah, you can't do that. Seraph tried to fight me, and I put him in the mud because he's a little boy. And then Alagos, coming on up, and Alagos, he got me when I wasn't looking, and got me down in the mud. And Everly, she's laughing. I know she's laughing. And so all this is happening. They're hog tying me, right? And I am spitting. I'm not gonna lie, I spit right in Alagos' face because he's a jerk. And Sarah says, you better get going or I kill Cash. I bet you don't even believe it, do you?
Alagos said that.
Nope, Seraph did.
Seraph said that.
Sarah said he gonna kill you. If I don't listen. And guess what? You want proof? Take a look at that shield of yours.
I think if I remember, if J-Lo remembers correctly from listening, there was a chunk like missing from the shield that got broken off when I was as
a
part of stone.
chip. There's like a chip off it.
Yeah.
Is there anything? Is there any actual structural damage to the shield that I can see?
It functions the same.
Okay.
It's now got a little flavor. It's got a little chip that homeboy ripped off it.
Are there any bits of so seeing that? I'll look. Are there any other bits of my armor that have been damaged? Any bits of me that now, like, I don't know, my hair or something?
No, you
Okay.
were. No, that's it. You're still like damp and gooey.
Right. Yeah.
In terms of like you see from the petrification till now, you seem intact.
Gotcha.
He pointed that out, and you look at it, and you're like, "Oh yeah, that wasn't like that." And yeah,
Yeah, that wasn't there. Till you became a statue that could be abused and used. I know that's a lot of info.
I am just trying to catch my breath.
Yeah. Me too.
That was quite. Let me ask you this: How long was I out?
I mean, maybe an hour.
it's been a little more than an hour. It's been like an hour. It's been like close to 2.
You know, so
I was expecting a week. It's a week.
Sure, it's been 2 weeks.
I'm trying to
4
think.
weeks.
Basically, I got in a fist fight with the rest of them. They turned me into a balloon, and then they floated me around, and then they put me in the mud, and that's why I'm all dirty. And then they dragged me through the
you poor
mud.
thing.
I know, right? They almost messed up my books. And then we fought some harpies, and easy peasy. I used my ways of persuasion and my dashing looks to get Everly to untie me. And then I went ahead and killed all the harpies for them. And I'm thinking, if I gotta choose between 3 buttheads and some harpies, I'll take the buttheads. And I'm also thinking, okay, maybe they'd be helpful in getting my sister back. So I went ahead and killed all of them for them. And then we found Sin. I think they took a nap in there, and I just sat there and watched them, and that was upsetting, to say the least. And yeah, then we found Sin, and he made a goo, and we lathered it on you, and here we are. It's been an upsetting couple hours. I've cried a lot. I hurt mostly emotionally, and I'm just happy to see you again.
I will.
Just happy to see you.
I reach out and I embrace. I hug. I stole my shield, and I give my brother a big old hug.
Whoa.
And just, shh. Coven,
Yes.
brother dear,
Mm-hmm.
you killed all the harpies yourself.
All right, maybe it's a little exaggeration, but I
Just-
I
I
did bop.
understand.
I booped him in the head.
I understand.
You know me. I like to sound big and strong in front of him, like I'm a good fighter.
Sure.
We all know that you do all the fighting.
Shh.
I do the reading, you do the fighting. Come on, Cash, up to the task. I know.
So it would appear to me that maybe I don't want to jump to conclusions. I would like to talk to these friends myself, but maybe they are not as friendly as I have been led to believe. It seemed like it was a tumultuous 2 hours.
I mean, they did call us dragons just about first thing, so, demons, excuse me. I think we've been the angels round here, just trying to be friendly with some stinkers, but maybe they just got a little hot-blooded. I know that you having your time in the armed forces and all that, you can handle these situations a little better, but when they put me in the mud, I didn't come up out the mud and I was upset.
I understand. I will admit that I did not like being a statue.
I didn't like it
And-
one bit either.
Thank you. And it seems like that it was due to their help that I was able to become not a statue.
I don't, honestly, let me keep it real right now, cause y'all know. I did not need them one bit.
I have a quick question, Nico.
Yeah.
What are we doing? Can I make an insight check on my brother?
Yes.
If you want to, yes. I will.
I think I'd like to. Just
Yeah,
and
he's just
so
popping off. So
yeah, he's got like I understand that my brother definitely gets his versions of stories for sure. So I guess I want to. The insight check would be to see like, obviously I believe him, and obviously I know that there's some parts that he's embellishing.
Right.
But I
How
like
much,
to.
right. Your
Yeah.
scale
How
of
dare
belief to embellishment.
How dare you?
No, so like, okay, let me rephrase. It's not that I don't believe him. This is an insight check. I want to see just how the veracity to which he believes that these folks are bad.
How emotional is he versus how truthful? Yeah.
Yeah, just like the veracity of his arguments. Like, because obviously there's some truth to that,
Got it.
but just wanting to,
Go ahead.
yeah, just wanting to know like how, like, because it's probably okay. Anyway, I rolled an 18 plus 1 on insight.
I would say. Yeah, go
You
ahead.
want me to say? I feel like Coven is so upset that they disrespected his sister, and you can tell that he's just not feeling it. Do not trust DTA. Don't trust anybody. 316 Team Dayspring.
Wow.
PvP me.
Gotcha.
I mean, nothing that Coven said was a lie.
I was gonna say,
you
like,
had that.
yeah, if like there'd be no like
Yeah.
deception to
Right.
It'd
Yeah,
be
yeah.
just if you wanted to counter it with persuasion, I'd allow it. Like,
No,
just to
no,
see how much
I'm
you
happy
grasp.
with Sister gleaning that from
Yeah,
my
Yeah.
it was
tears
a heck
rolling
of a
off my
roll.
cheeks.
It was
Yeah.
a heck of a roll anyway. So
Yeah.
you can tell that he's relaying the information in an extremely emotional state and is just had your well-being in mind the entire time and is just in that kind of mindset.
Gotcha. Okay. So we're still hugging.
Yeah,
Yeah, always.
hold me.
And just big old like give that like that end squeeze, that big like if we're trying to crack each other's backs, kind of just like just like tighter. Ah. Feels good. Thank you.
Thank you. I need a little back crack, keep my senses straight.
I understand, and I know how you get, brother dear, brother
Yeah.
of mine.
Yeah.
I think that when the time comes, I will have some questions to ask our fellow travelers.
Yeah.
But as it stands, we're back.
Covenant Cash back at it.
Covenant Cash back at it again.
Have faith,
We're
y'all.
together. Neither of us are statues
Yeah,
or balloons.
true. I really don't want to be a balloon again.
I understand. I don't want you to be a balloon either.
That was freaking disrespectful.
That sounds like it sucked. Yeah, I don't ever want to be a balloon ever.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if it was a friendly time, it was kind of relaxing, but
That being said, I think that you said that Sen's place of residence is not too far from where we are right now.
yeah, right around the corner.
And that is where our traveling companions are headed.
I think Everly said he's got some house guests. I'm not sure. Yeah, there might be a few. They might all be dead. Sen might have killed them all in his voodoo shack. I don't really know, so we could be a little careful rolling up. But he seemed nice. He saved you. I think Sen can join the pot. We could trade Sen and his friends for those guys if you need.
Let us, brother, thank you for your information, your guidance, and as always, your knowledge.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna try to keep these emotions in check. I know Kashana knows best, just like Mama and Papa told us, so I'm gonna let you take the lead here, and I'm gonna try to not punch him in the stupid faces. Well, at least punch him with my thoughts, and then let you handle it for real.
Just like old times.
It's just like old times, sister.
Let's just head on back,
Yeah.
and we'll
Woo.
I'll have my chats with our traveling companions when the time comes. For now, we can get back to the business of our friend Everly
Yeah,
getting her foot
she
checked
does
out.
have a stinky, ugly foot right now.
Yeah, and I would love to get a little bit cleaner. Some walking would do me some good.
Yeah, I'll stay right behind you, hold your hand, make sure you can traverse this bog.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And with that, brother and sister hand in hand, we start romping over these bridges, heading back towards Sen's hut.
Gotcha. Yeah. Meanwhile, when the rest of you guys were walking back, did you want to break into any conversation, or was it a quiet walk?
I'll keep
The split screen, the split screen that would have happened while we were talking.
Right.
Yeah.
Is there anything you wanted to say to Sen based on what you heard?
No.
Okay.
I want my leg back.
I want my leg back.
Okay.
Nope. I'll
Yeah,
keep quiet
so-
for now.
Yeah, so he's walking up in front of you guys, and he's keeping quiet too, and you guys eventually catch up to him, like right about when they're on the bridge point, just because Sen's pretty slow moving. And then you guys make
Sorry,
it
that was
in-
us catching up. Sorry.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And then here, back at Sen's Shackola, let me plug in who needs to get plugged in. Cash wasn't there, right? Did I not put her down?
I do not see me.
There you go.
Thanks.
And
JLo?
Yo.
It's just been said to me via chat that Coven is Dragonborn bog dwelling Jimmy Hart. Fuck with me.
The mouth of the
The
where
mouth
were we
of the
from?
mouth of the South, Jimmy. Come on,
Yeah.
Holster, you got this. So fucking good. Holy shit.
I don't know what that means.
That's all right. You play Mickey Mouse game.
But our wrestling
Shut
friends
up.
know.
Dustin shits on me for playing Kingdom Hearts. He's just like, how's hanging out with Mickey Mouse all day, dude?
Great.
Damn, it's so good. It's so fucking good. Yeah. So you guys approach, and Sen is like, yeah, it's not much of a looker, but it was a hell of a build, and I'm very proud of it. It's been my home for a long, long time, and it's not often I get wanderers up these parts. It's kind of hard to work their way through the bog, so it'll be a nice change of scenery for me to have some folks around. And as you guys approach, he takes a deep breath and he turns and he says, "That being said, oddly enough, I have some company today. It's not often, but you laughing at the Urukai picture?" Yes. Krebs suggested that, and I was like, yeah, I couldn't be more right. He says, my company, they're employees of mine. We'll discuss this further if it comes to it. Oh, I did have a token for Sen. He's just been hiding.
Just on the wrong map.
Yeah. So he does that whistle again that he did earlier, and the door opens, and you like kind of look up, and you don't really see anything, and then you see that rope ladder just like shoot out, and it like reaches its full length, and then just flops down and lands there. And he opens his hand to it and says, after you, folks. And if you guys want to head up, you can. If you want to ask him any questions before heading in, you can. Up to you.
He mentioned he has a crew.
He said he has some employees that are visiting.
Friend San, thank you once again for bringing me back to this out of a statue form. Can you tell how many employees do you have?
Currently up in the house, I have three of my finest men.
All of them?
Well, one's hard. You'll see. You'll see for yourself. That fucked you up. Okay.
One's hard, understood.
Yeah. So if you guys want to Want to work your way up there? Feel free.
Yeah.
What's the business that you run, Sen? Is it voodoo?
Well, I'll let them talk to you about it if they are interested.
Voodoo confirmed. Okay.
You know, employee, the confidentiality, all that. So
After you three, friends.
Well, as he walks in, I kind of slow the group down and I ask
No,
Everly,
I can't control myself on the roll
what-
20.
what did you hear before he came out? Did you hear anything important that they were whispering about?
They were speaking of a plant, and that's about it.
A plant?
Yes, a bright red plant
Okay.
that they found.
Okay.
And squawking.
Like the plant we found in the cave?
Correct.
So they must know about Ornyx Cave. Whoever these people are. But he seemed...
Sen is standing at the bottom of the rope ladder like this, just looking at you guys. Like,
Anytime.
All right, okay, yep, we're coming. All right, let's go. Let's roll out.
Just holding a finger up to him. One second.
Okay, yep, we're good.
I gently push both of them. Let's go.
So the rope ladder is like coming out. You see the ping there? That section kind of the cottage. And like I said,
One
it's
more time
like,
for me, sorry. Okay.
so that's like where the door is. It's like at the just before the circular area, in the like longer rectangular section to the left. There's a door right there. Yeah. So who he's not going up until he's kind of allowing you guys all up first. Who wants to head up first?
I'll go up first.
Okay. Yeah, so you work your way up and you enter into I don't have like a it's gonna be theater of the mind here. I don't have like a like picture for you guys or anything really from the interior section, but so yeah, you come in, and when you come up to the stairs, you see the inside of the house, and like I said, it's like a cross shape with like a circular section to the left, and it's all open inside. There's no like walls sectioning anything off other than the exterior walls. There's no interior walls, and it's lit by some candles, and there's like a small fire in the circular section there to the left with some benches around it, and like what looks like a soup pot kind of cooking over the fire. And you see slouched with its head down like this on one of the benches what looks like a mannequin. Like it's like a wooden humanoid shape, right? Almost looks like it's carved out of wood to look like that, and it has these pieces of like metal armor that are kind of like on it. Like it almost looks like a mannequin that you'd like put armor on, and it's down like this,
like a fitting dummy kind of.
But it's sitting at a bench, and it has these blue they're like they're not glowing or anything, but there's these blue like sigils on the various pieces of armor that are like on this mannequin, and it has a big like claymore strapped to its back. And you see that, which is curious, and then you scan to the front part of you, where you like right where the stairs are, the rope ladder, and you see a bunch of like netting that's like hooked to the wall and hanging from the ceiling up against the far wall there. And then as the room continues to the right, you see some more seats and various things like that. And then you see like a desk that's in this section right here, and right So like if you, I keep, I have to keep explaining like the sections of it. The pings are for you guys, but so you look to your right, the right like T section of the cross shape, and you see a desk with lots of books and scrolls all over it, and there's a window right here, and it's a massive stained glass window, with a lot of like really cool looking art on it. Nothing that really like resonates right now. But you see in front of it, not sitting at the desk, but standing like behind the desk, looking at the stained glass, you see a large, maybe a little. How tall are you? Like 6-ish feet tall?
Who, me?
Yeah, you're the only one seeing this like right now.
Yeah, I'm like 5'9".
Yeah, a little shorter than you. You see a humanoid that from the bottom up is like has paws, a light like grayish blonde mixed colored fur into with a tail, and is wearing like leathers, and comes up into a like cat face. You probably would know, just like you live in the world, you've seen, throughout your life. This is a tabaxi humanoid, and they don't like look at you as you come up. They're looking at the stained glass.
How many are there?
This is the first like humanoid you see.
Okay.
And it's looking at the stained glass with its hands in its pockets, and it's like leaned forward looking at it. And then to the left, you see like a little bed set up with some candles on it, and sitting on the bed is this like beige. It's like a beige robed figure, and it just looks like a big crow. It looks like a huge crow, maybe like a 4-foot tall crow or like a raven, and it like as soon as you walk in, it like looks at you real quick and like moves its head and like looks at you and blinks a few times and goes, "Rah, intruder, rah, sin." And he goes, "Don't worry, it's okay. There's a few more coming up." And it goes like, and like kind of ducks down into its robe a little bit, and like pulls its hood down like this so you can't really see its eyes, and its beak's just kind of down, and it's like trying to not look at you. And the tabaxi then looks at you and like looks you up and down and just like nods like this at you. And then goes and sits down next to the like bird looking creature, and kind of just like crosses its arms like this and looks at the door, expecting more people to come up. Did the rest of you guys come up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll go up last.
It's gonna be tight in here.
Yeah.
It's not tiny. Like, you're not gonna be shoulder to shoulder. There's enough room for you guys to all like take a seat, or to move amongst each other. But it is
Are
It is
Cash
gonna
and
be
I
close quarters.
bonking heads on the roof?
No, they're peaked. They're peaked in the corners, I guess, but that's where like the chairs are.
I very much picture like Gandalf walking through Bilbo's house, like just like bump into it. Oh, I'm sorry.
It's not quite like that. But,
Okay.
So-
yeah,
Cat and bird on the bed?
they're sitting on it,
I
like looking at the door. So
Mm.
they're like over here. So like inside to the left would be the bird, and like to the right would be the tabaxi. And then you all see too, as you approach too, there's that like mannequin looking thing sitting over here, and like right in the center is like a fire with benches around it.
Are
And you see
either of those races something that Cash and I would see in Polyria?
I would see one of them in Brazaria, I would assume.
Yes, Kenku are not common in Braziri, but
Brazaria, that's what I meant.
yeah, but you've definitely seen them before. but you've never like interacted with one, but you know that they exist. You know in Braziri that there's two different types of like bird people that live there. There's bird people that fly, and there's bird people that don't fly.
Right.
And this is one of the bird people that don't fly.
Right. Yep.
That's like your baseline knowledge of that. As for the two Polirian people, no, you would not like coexist with these folks often. I don't think there's any like percentage of population of them in Polyria. If there were, it was like travel. They just like would stop through, and you don't really like know much about them.
Sorry. I was.
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay.
I just was saying you don't recognize.
Okay.
To the extent of like knowing anything about them, I was saying like maybe in passing, like a merchant you might have seen like a tabaxi merchant or something at a time, but like you never went to school with any, you didn't grow up with any, like anything like that.
Okay.
I look at Sen and I say, you thought we had an interesting group. Where did you come across the Tabaxi and a Kenku as companions?
And the Tabaxi looks at you and like furrows its brow a little bit, and you see now that you guys are all in there, you see his face. It's like, so Tabaxi like run the like whole gambit of like cat-like, right? So there's like tons of different types of cats, right? This one looks like one of those smushed-faced cats. You know, the ones that have their like noses pressed in.
No, keep going. I'm not quite getting it.
Yeah, one more time for me. This is not for
I mean,
listeners,
obviously,
this
I
is for the
can't
viewer.
fucking-
This is for us, please.
I have a picture, but I don't want to show you guys yet. We'll get to that. It's one of those smushed face cats. You know, I can't think of like a breed or anything like that. But he's
a lyric cat.
They're like they're the pugs of cats, I guess is what I would call them. And he looks at you and says, "Well, Genasi, speak for yourself. We don't see too many of you in these parts either." And
I just smile at him.
he says, "Son, you trust these wanderers? I'm a little curious as to what they're doing here in the swamp, but I guess we'll find out." And he crosses his arms again and kind of like gives you all the up down. Hold on, links have been sent. Let me investigate. Very handsome.
Damn.
Is that how he's sitting on the bed?
His fur's a little darker than that, but yeah, he kind of looks like that.
Okay.
Coven waves at him. It says, "Hi, my name's Coven. I like how you talk."
Oh no.
He looks at Sen and goes, "Sen, are we serious? Disrespect?"
Cash, just as I very much feel it's like the Forrest Gump wave, like when he waves to Lieutenant Dan from the boat, and it's like hand on hip, just kind of waving.
That's literally what I envision. Yes.
awesome. Like what? Yeah, brother, sister, we're here.
Yeah.
And Cash just like just knows that the wave is happening, and just reaches over and just slowly grabs Coven's hand and just puts it down.
As you say that, he shakes his head like this, and he goes, "Thomas, could you please grab the rope ladder? I think this is going to be a long discussion." And you hear like, you hear this like noise, this weird like I don't know how to describe, almost like mechanical, but there's not, you guys wouldn't really know what that sounds like. To your left, and you see now this like this like light blue glow that's like overpowering the like orange glow from the camp, the little fire in the room, and that mannequin stands up and turns and looks at you guys, and it has, through this like helmet, this like armored little helmet, it has these blue lights inside of it, and you see the glyphs on the armor that it's wearing are like blue, like have a light blue glow, and it like walks into the mass of you guys and goes, "Pardon me, excuse me," and it like reaches past you guys and pulls the rope ladder up, and it like bundles it up and puts it in the in where the rest of the netting is, and like looks over to the tabaxi, and it says, "Farguild, is there anything else I can do?" And he goes, "No, thank you. Return to your rest." And this strange thing goes back over to the bench and sits down, and the blue lights shut off, and it slumps back down. So the tabaxi referred to it as Thomas, and it referred to the tabaxi as Farguild.
Sorry, one more time. Farguild and what?
Thomas.
I wrote them.
Okay, you're the man. Thomas. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Thomas the robot. All right.
It's taking everything in Coven to not ask Farguild if that's his belly.
You can if you want.
Nope. He's biting his lip, though.
So Farguild stands up and looks at Sen, doesn't walk any closer, and he looks at Sen and says, "So why do you bring these random people up into the college? We had business to discuss, and now there's people intruding. I hope that this is something important." And Sen walks over and puts his hand on his shoulder and looks down at the raven looking like crow person and says, "Well, one of them was petrified," and points to the tall female dragonborn.
Kashana gives a very curt, just a quick wave.
And Farguild looks over and like sees that you're like dripping and all whatever had gone, and he says,
"I'm still gooey."
He says, "Oh, so it finally worked. Interesting. Good for you, son."
What?
And,
Finally.
And he says, "Well, so clearly that was a success. What else is the problem?" And Sen says, "Well, the nice young lady here, she seems to have been injured by something with some gnarly disease of sorts. Here, take a look." And motions for Everly to come over, and the like bird creature looks up at you and goes like, "Purr, purr, purr," and like kind of ducks down a little bit and makes eye contact with you. And you like, if you want to walk over, you kind of stand in front of it near where Sen is.
Okay.
And do you want to show them your leg?
Yeah, I pull up my pant leg and I show it to him.
Yeah. He points and looks, and Farguild goes, "Oh goodness, that's disgusting." And he says, "Work your magic, son. I'll be over here." And he like goes over to where the desk is, and he sits down and just kind of like throws his hand up like this, and he's kind of looking at that stained glass again. And the bird creature kind of like shuffles over a little bit to the left and kind of perks up a little bit and like looks at your leg and looks up at you and goes like, "Did it hurt?"
Yes, it hurts like hell.
And like he kind of pats the bed where Farguild had been sitting and like motions for you to sit next to him.
Okay. Everly sits down and tries to make herself comfortable in this odd situation.
Yeah. So Sen looks back at the rest of you guys and he says, well, make yourselves at home. This may take a moment, but hopefully we can figure something out. I assume you have many questions, and this is things we can discuss, but let's tend to this first. And yeah, he gets to work. He puts his bindle down, and he walks over to this section of the room where he has a table with some, like, you know, some plants, some dried plants on it and things like that, and he starts working with the mortar and pestle, and the bird kind of like keeps looking at you, Everly, and it's like not saying anything, but it isn't smiling because it has like a beak and it doesn't really like, but the way that its eyes are looking at you, like it seems happy, where previously it had been like timid, like maybe scared or something. But it's looking at you, and Sen is off working on something over at this like table, and he brings it back over, and he has like a similar like matcha looking paste, but this is more like a rusty red color, and it's a little more coarse. And he says, "Well, no, that's not him." He says, "Well, this might sting, but hopefully it will start to stop that black spreading that you're seeing there." And he kind of applies it, and there's no noticeable change now, and it does hurt like hell. But if you'll allow him to keep trying, he'll keep working his magic as best he can. While he's doing that, do any of you guys want to engage in anything? I'll also do this now that hold on, let me catch up on the picks. Oh, hell yeah. Hold on a sec. These aren't perfect, and they're a little cartoony, but and it's interesting that they were all in like this like same kind of style, but these are just like things I compiled. This is kind of like what that squad looks like.
Nice.
Holy
and-
moly.
Yeah. The bird creature is not as like confident, or I guess like that looks like sly, like almost like yeah.
I don't trust Kenku anyway.
It's not quite like that. But yeah, that's kind of what those guys are looking. And the tabaxi has like a face similar to that and like body shape, but it's not wearing like weird green like scale mail shirt and shit. It's got just like normal leathers. Like
I was gonna say, what's on the bottom of its foot? But
it's
it
its
is
tail.
definitely
It's just like cut off.
okay. I was like,
from
that's
the side.
either from a different creature or
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd like to ask Sen, how would you know how to deal with something like this? Do you recognize this?
He says, well, in my experience, I have come across things like this. I can't discern exactly what it might have come from. If you'd like to disclose that whole spiel. You said something about a demon dog. I'm not too familiar with things of that nature, but this looks like a standard disease, and if it was contracted from something of that sort, I may be able to look into it, but
okay. So you said you know Ornick, correct?
yes, he tends to a lot of animals, and they fall prey to various illnesses here and there, and I stop into Hallbeck to acquire things that I need. Out here, it's hard to come by, normal things like breads and company. The Cozy Nook there is a nice place to get my social interactions in. But yeah, I've stopped by Ornick's place a time or two to help him with things.
Have you ever been to a cave near Ornick's place?
I've never ventured much outside of his fields. I know of no cave anywhere near Holbuck. Actually, I'm not sure what you're referring to.
Okay. Do you recognize? Have you ever seen anything like this before? And I pull out the plant that I took from the cave and I put it on the table and show him.
Hold on, let me make a roll real quick.
Can I insight check him?
That's what I.
Insight
Yeah, that's
wanna
what I was going for.
Okay,
Okay,
Coven,
you
you
do
want
it.
to insight check?
No. You did, Coven. You do it on his. I was gonna do it on his reaction. I want to see what his face looks like when I show him the plant.
We can do that separately. Hold on, let
Okay,
me make a roll
okay.
of my own.
I'd like to do mine at disadvantage because I haven't stopped looking at Farguild.
Oh my gosh.
Good. Okay, I'm glad you haven't. Dustin, Coven, make yours first.
Nat 20 on the first one. Oh, God. That's it. That's an 18.
Okay, and you are just trying, like, based on his, you're trying to discern if he doesn't know what, like, about the, like, the disease, like the bite, and also
Seeing
about
if
the
he's,
cave.
Yeah, bullshitting about the cave.
He is being honest.
Okay.
He's
Okay.
being honest about all of it. He's dealt with things similar to this. He knows that it's a sinister disease, and that he's been able to deal with things similar through medicinal, holistic approaches. He has never ventured much in the area of Ornyx farm, and definitely does not know about a cave.
I would like to, while I'm listening, while I'm staring at Farguild's very fluffy fur, I would like to attempt to draw Farguild with a just guided hand, never looking at my page. I just need to draw
Okay.
him.
Um,
And I need
Like
the
a French girl.
I need the Wanderer to see.
So
what I'm
you
dealing with.
pull out the small amount of like red, the red plant that you have, and you want to show that to Sen.
Yes.
Okay. And then you want to make an insight roll to see how he reacts.
Correct.
Okay, sure.
So I am proficient in insight. Does that matter at all? No, it
Um,
does not.
Do you have a bone? Like, is your? It's just
About-
a +1.
Yeah, it's a +1. Okay.
Yeah. So you see him look at your, like what did you say exactly? You said, have you seen anything like this?
Yeah. Yep.
And you just like reach into your bag
And I
pull
reach
it
in
out.
and I just pull it right out and put it right on the table and watch his face.
As soon as you like pull it out, he makes eye contact with it, like very, very briefly, and he looks up past you at Farguild, and Coven sees it because he's like trying to mind sketch him.
Yes. Yes.
Farguild's ears pin back and he hisses, and he like gets down in a stance and he pulls out a dagger, and he just like looks straight at Alagos, and he says, step away now. Just and like motions with the dagger for you to step away from Sen.
To step away from Sen,
Yeah.
I tell him to put his knife down. Put your knife down.
He looks over at Sen, and he looks back at you, and he says, Sen, we need to get to talking, or this is gonna go south pretty quickly. And Sen puts his hand up at both of you guys, and he says, well, this is curious indeed. I agree. Discussion needs to be had. I'm just trying to retain all this information. I've had a long day. It's pretty boring here in the swamp on a day-to-day. This is an exceptional experience, let me tell you.
I hear
If
that.
Being turned to stone was quite exceptional.
Oh, yes, I believe you. Farguild, put the blade away. We can handle this. I know where you're coming from. Everybody, if you wouldn't mind, you could take a seat over there next to Thomas. We have some things to talk about, I think.
I'll stand, thank you.
Yeah, I grab the plant and put it back in my pocket and stand up and move towards Everly. And just as I walk past, I kind of nod at Seraph, like, be ready.
Okay. Yeah, Sarah. What is Seraph's reaction to all this? Because I think
I mean,
everyone's been interacted with at this point. I'm wondering what.
Now, from all this, since I entered the house, I've just been with my arms crossed, just closing my eyes as if trying to fake meditation, but like trying to listen to everyone.
Gotcha. Okay. So who like follows the who actually goes and sits down?
Cash will move towards. You
Yeah,
said
yeah.
Thomas is sitting at like a workbench, like a table, kind of.
It's basically 3 long benches, like in a triangle around like a fire
Gotcha.
in this round section of this room.
Cash will stay standing and will. So yeah, if I can motion for Coven to sit, like so that there's 2 tables between Thomas and Coven.
Okay.
I'll stand next to that other table with Cash, or as Cash with Coven.
Okay. So yeah, like so there's a bench here and then one here and then one here. So
Okay, yeah.
if Thomas is sitting like in the middle here, you would be like at the tip of that one.
Yeah.
Behind him, and Coven would be like right there.
Just
And
wanna-
if you go ahead.
Oh, I just wanted to confirm that. Finished my drawing to the Wanderer. It's on Discord.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
That's beautiful. Yeah, and I'll if possible, I'll try to stand so that Cash is between Thomas and Coven, like at least like a half step ahead, like so I'm like
Yeah.
on the corner.
Well, so
like,
it's the way it works is you're all kind of like sitting. You're all sitting like looking at each other more or less, right?
Gotcha. Okay.
I bump into the table while still looking at Fargild.
Oh, of course.
Gotcha.
Cash knows there's some things I like. They're doggies
Yeah.
and kitties. And there's a really big kitty.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fargild
Yeah, yeah.
goes and sits down. Fargild goes and sits down next to Thomas, and the Kenku, like after everyone kind of migrates in that area, it, like gets up and kind of like shuffles from foot to foot, does like a little hobble over, and plops down on the other side of Thomas.
Can you tell me what's on the table?
On what table?
The one I'm sitting at?
It's not a table. It's just benches. Like imagine
Piss.
imagine like church pews, right? There's no table. It's not like a picnic table with benches. It's like just bench rows basically
Okay.
in front of a fire. There's nothing there.
I'll table that question for later.
Oh man. And then Coven explodes and is never heard from again.
Damn it.
Kill me.
Yes. So if you guys are all heading over there, Sen kind of like approaches and gets in like a vantage where you guys are all kind of like audience to him, like he's standing and you all can see him, and he says I think this will make the most sense if I start this all from the beginning. I am sorry if this takes a long time, but we need to all be on the same page. And he takes a deep breath, and he's going to tell you guys a lot of shit after I pee.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm going to go to the bathroom, but I'll be back in a few.
My buddy told me, I thought we were sitting at tables. He said to put things on the edge of the table to try to tempt the cat into whacking it off the table.
Oh my god.
Really bummed we didn't have a table there.
Holy moly.
I'll be right back as well.
That's a beautiful cat.
It's incredible, really.
Just like, dearest wanderer, can you believe what I'm seeing? Take a look at this beauty. God, those friggin' cute
Prepped for my
dogs.
song, and I'm not gonna get to play it.
Oh man, so part of my travels included stopping in Berkeley to hang out with some friends that I've known since college, and they the last time I saw them in person was at their wedding where I was the best man, and we play WoW, we played video games for a long time together, and they have a beautiful French bulldog. If you let me pull up, let me get Bruce's Instagram.
Krista literally like floated up from the ground when she heard that.
Yeah, that's both our boys right there in that
Yeah.
in that little vid.
I'll put it in the.
When he like
Put it in the
adjusts
Discord.
himself and puts his head on your lap, take it easy.
Yeah. Oh, he's a blue boy.
Bruce Doggo.
Oh, is he Brindle?
Oh, he's
Yes.
Brindle.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Everyone should have a Frenchie, dude.
yeah, they're the best.
fourth one of him on like next to the computer screen. That's like, man, that's
Yeah.
Bruce.
Yo, it looks just like Cypher, dude. Like he has more orange to his fur than Cypher did, but
Oh my gosh, he's so cool.
yeah, he's cute.
He's got so much personality, and it's wild. That's like one thing that there's a lot of dogs in the Bay Area, and every time they like see somebody somebody who knows about Frenchies, it's like, oh, he's got a lot of personality. And I was like, is that code for him being like a jerk? I was like, no, he's just like expressive and cute and rad.
Yeah. Bulldogs are though, like they're
Mhm.
pushy assholes most
Yeah.
of the time, but they're cute when they do it. So it's like
Yes, I know. It's like you're so small and strong. I love it.
right, exactly. He's so hyphy all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, that was our
Damn.
that was our first one.
Gotcha.
That's how he would sit. Like we'd
Yep.
watch TV and that's
Ladies.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Are you aware that I have a belly?
I got this
Not
is
gonna pet itself.
this I think this is probably the cutest pic I have of him. If I can find it. Because I have like 6 million of him on my phone.
Oh yeah, duh.
Right here. Just creeping in the early morning.
He's under the bed.
Oh, my-
He liked to be under the bed.
oh, that's really good.
My dog does that too.
Aw.
Oh, I love it.
I'll just like, if he's not in bed with us, if you look over the edge of the bed, you just see like legs or a face hanging out the bottom.
Yeah.
What's he doing down there?
Oh, goodness gracious.
Welcome
Hi.
back.
Hi, friends.
Good pee? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
I had to.
It's our other boy.
So handsome.
But
Just blend.
So
He's
much-
got googly eyes.
So much tongue.
Feel free to delete all of those, dude. Like, I don't
Absolutely.
give
are
a
you
fuck.
kidding me? No fucking way.
Deletes everything but that.
So Fargield has a brother. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
Tarsmield?
Bargild, Schmargild.
Man.
Is there any way on the side before you hit a massive lore dump? Could I exchange some religious information with the Wanderer if I traded him a cat pick? Could he look at that like stained glass window and see if there's any info?
While you're like, you're just wondering if so, like, you while this conversation's going on, you want to see if he can like, because you didn't your vantage in the house, like, you didn't get a great look at it. You know it's there, I guess, because
I feel like I haven't really looked at anything but Fargild.
Right.
I was just gonna say, take a look at. I will draw a Farguild for you if you want to look around, Wanderer, and just give me some info, dog.
Yeah, I'll let you throw the prayer hands up in your book and see if anything comes to it.
Beans, green, potatoes, tomatoes, chicken.
So like out of jump out of your characters for a sec.
Uh-huh.
How y'all feeling about this shit?
It's dope.
Man,
Yeah.
there's a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. It's
There's
about
a lot.
it's about to
Did we get the name of the Kenku?
no.
It's
Okay.
good. It's good though. We were just talking about this today, like a lot of fighting and stuff. Now we're, getting into the story more, which is good.
Yeah, this is okay. So full disclosure, I am about to talk for a very long time. It is not going to have any interaction from you guys. You can interrupt me to ask questions if you want to clarify anything, but it's all going to be relatively new information. And yeah, it's just the best time I have to really.
Will you
develop
email
opinions.
it to me so I can read
Oh,
it?
I will have.
Do we have morning minutes on this? Is this?
Yeah, please.
I will give you guys the text of it when after the fact. Yeah.
I've been waiting for that kitty character for a while.
Dude, that voice though. Oh,
Farguild.
so good, bro. So good. Bravo.
Also, man, I don't know if I want to spoil it.
Don't.
No,
Yeah, I do.
don't
Don't
do
you
it.
fucking dare.
I do. There's a lot. It'll be everywhere. Does his name resonate with anybody at all?
No.
No.
Farguild, no.
Okay, good. Never mind then.
I'm googling it.
You're not gonna get anything because I made it up, but I had reason. Sweet, yeah. And also, Dustin's the only person who would know anything. Does Thomas make you feel any type of way, dude?
Oh, it's Garfield.
Oh.
Oh, you mean You're talking about Farguild?
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird. No, you're wrong. I don't know what you're talking
Wait.
about.
Shut
What's
up.
What's a Garfield?
Yeah, it's just a Garfield anagram or whatever the fuck.
Gotcha.
But my guy Thomas over there, do you know? Does that make you feel any type of way?
Roll for
Thomas
it.
is the Warforged.
For Dustin?
I didn't think Warforged
I don't
had to
know.
be activated though.
Do I know some shit?
Maybe. All right.
Poke him with a stick.
It's nothing Coven would know. It's just me being a weird person, and
Okay.
you know me being a weird guy.
Yeah. You'll clue me into that someday, and I'll be like, "Holy shit!"
You'll be
No,
like,
you'll figure it out.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see. I'm not doing this in Sen's voice, but Sen is telling you this.
Am I
I'm
doing
just
that?
gonna tell you.
Am I doing
I'm
that
just
religion
gonna tell
check?
you. I'm just gonna tell you the story. Yeah, go ahead. Do that first.
It's an 11.
Okay. Yeah, you don't see any movement on the page like as of yet, but you're just waiting for it.
Did he at least like my picture?
Yeah, you got a
Sure.
notification. You got a notification on page 1
Did
that
he like
said
it?
that the Wanderer liked your pick.
Nice. Okay. I'm happy. I'm basically beta testing Facebook right now, fantasy Facebook.
Yeah, so I'll say you guys don't necessarily have to take like notes during this but there's going to be so much info and people and places, and I'll send you guys what I wrote because I have it all written down, and you can just look at that and pick through it as you see fit.
Luckily,
Sweet.
we're recording.
That's true. You also have audio for it. So Sen explains that he was a founding member of the council at Perrinwall, and Perrinwall is the capital here in the Antarian Empire. And he says, Antis Malin was a young prince at the time, and his father Gant Malin was an honorable and accomplished leader. Sen, Gant, and a man named Presh Silmar, Presh being his first name, Silmar being his last name, founded the Protectors of Perrinwall, a council of advisors that met monthly to discuss the state of Boldera and specifically the role of the Antarian Empire in it. Sen and Presh were both enlisted to reach out to the exterior regions in hopes to make political connections and potential trade agreements with the other parts of the world. Sen was designated the west side of regions, and Presh was designated the eastern regions. Being so Sen was designated places like Polyria, Radiska, and Leyland, and Presh was designated places like Brazieri, Mother's Mount, and Signan Flats. Where was I in all this? Yeah, they both worked their way from north to south. So Sen started in Polyria, and Presh started in Brazieri. After meeting with each region's leader, Sen would return back to the empire with an ambassador selected by each region's leader, who would represent their respective region and join the Perrinwall Protectors. So they essentially were like going out to these regions, trying to contact the leaders, talking about their hopes to make potential pact, and asking for someone to come back with them to be a part of the council to represent that region. Sen had successfully gathered info and an ambassador from both Polyria and Radiska. He set them up at their new home in Perrinwall and got them accustomed with the new land. He debriefed with Gant and Presh, Gant being the king, Presh being the other person, the other recruiter, and had discussed each of their journeys through these strange lands and how diverse and interesting the cultures of each land were. Their last two locations after going to the more northern bits were Leyland for Sen and the Signan Flats for Presh. Each men set out on the last leg of their recruitment journey and would return home with the final round of ambassadors and begin their life work of successfully webbing all of Boldera's forces into allegiance and start the inherent societal improvements that would come with such relationships. Sen had to go on a bit of a rat chase, going from city to city in Leyland to try and discuss arrangements with the leader. After finally pinning him down in a city to the south called Revolta, he had a very odd and brief meeting with the elusive leader. The man introduced himself as Invar, but never offered a hand to shake or removal of his dark hood to make eye contact with. Both of his hands occupied the snarling head of two separate muscular mastiffs that he referred to briefly as his right-hand men. Sen explained nervously his intent and his request of an ambassador to strengthen the relations of each region. Invar snapped his finger, and the dogs ascended down a set of stairs behind Invar and dragged up a halfling man in shackles. Invar said, "Give me some time to explain what it is you're asking for. I'll have him ready and sent to you outside the city walls within the hour." Sen waited outside for half an hour, confused at this interaction, but was surprised when he was tapped on the shoulder by a well-dressed and cleaned-up halfling man. The halfling was the same man who had been dragged and shackled, but was in an exuberant mood and was eager to make the journey back to Perrinwall with Sen. The journey went well, and the halfling opened up day after day more and more to Sen. His name was Seamus Neller, and he had been a servant of Invar's since childhood. He explained that he was sorry he didn't know much about Leyland, but was excited to be appointed the honor of representing his nation in the council. Confused but glad he didn't come home empty-handed, Sen returned with Seamus to Perrinwall. Sen arrived to Perrinwall, to barren streets, and the odd lack of day-to-day hustle and bustle that Perrinwall typically offered. He ascended the series of ramps that led up to the castle to finish his journey after all these years. When he reached the top with Seamus at his side, he gazed at the courtyard of the kingdom he had worked so hard to build, to see the man he had built it with, Gant Malin, atop a funeral pyre surrounded by his friends and family. Sen ran towards the fire and dropped to the ground halfway, bursting into tears. Antis